welcome to the Happier Hour. And what a happy, happy night this is. Not just happy, tonight's a night full of yay. And you're going to find out why very soon. Thrilled to be here with my co-hosts, Seema, Elizabeth, Kathy, Dina, and Stephanie, and all of you joining us on Zoom and Facebook and in TV world out there tonight. We're so thrilled and honored to have Meaghan Murphy here. First and foremost, she's a good friend of mine, and it's just an honor to always be with her. I'm always thrilled to be with her. A true morph mom to her toes, there to help people all of the time, and you're going to hear about that tonight. She's a longtime magazine editor. She's a writer. She's an on-air lifestyle expert. She has a podcast. She's a certified trainer. She's currently the content director at Women's Day magazine, and as of yesterday, when her book was finally released, she is the author of the soon-to-be very best-selling book, Your Fully Charged Life, a radically simple approach to having endless energy and feeling every day with yay. Meaghan, it's an absolute honor to have you here. And before we get started to get into everything that we're going to talk about tonight, I'm going to ask Stephanie to start us off with the cocktail of the night, the one that we can cheers to you, and I'll cheers to yay every day.
Yay, it's my favorite time. Okay, Meaghan, I'm so happy to have you witness one of my cocktails. It's very, very simple. I'm making a rose water margarita, and all you're gonna do is you're going to take the petals off of some roses, and you're gonna rinse them under cold water. I've done all this ahead of time. Then you're gonna add 2 cups of water plus 1 cup of rose petals into a saucepan, and you're gonna put it on low heat, and you're gonna let it simmer for 30 minutes. Then you're gonna remove the saucepan from the stove. You're going to carefully strain the rose water into a bowl, add 5 ice cubes, let it cool down, and you're gonna put it into the fridge for a few minutes. That rose water mixture can actually stay in the fridge for up to 5 days. And then separately, you're going to, in a cocktail shaker, mix 2 ounces of fresh lime juice, and you're gonna do 2 ounces of your favorite tequila. I don't discriminate, but I love a Casamigos Reposado. And then you're gonna do like a tablespoon or 2 of some fresh honey or agave. You're gonna shake it up. You're gonna add the 2 tablespoons of rose water, I think I already said. Garnish with a little rose petal. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
That sounds amazing.
Very refreshing.
Good. Cheers to you too. Cheers.
You definitely just put the yay in our day with that drink. That is outstanding. And it almost makes us feel like spring is sort of here.
Yes.
We're getting there, but we're almost there. Now, certainly, as we said, that put the yay in our day, but there's no one who does it better than Meaghan Murphy. With everything that I just told you that she's done, continues to do, does every single day for all of us. Meaghan, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here tonight. So Meaghan, as we talk about yay, and obviously that's a theme for tonight, and a theme with the book as well. And I can't wait to start talking about the book and how this all came to be. But as I mentioned, you also are involved in a few other things in your life on top of having 3 kids. So let's go back and tell us how this all began and how you have accomplished so many things in such short time.
Oh, geez. Well, I don't think that hard about it, or that would be exhausting. And I'm just noticing how much I love the word yay, because forward and backward, it's still yay. So my balloons look good in any direction. Yay to the yay. But I am also the editor-in-chief. I actually got a promotion during quarantine. As I'm the editor-in-chief of Women's Day magazine. I started in March on lockdown from my kitchen table. I've never met my team or cleared out my Good Housekeeping office. So that was kind of surreal. And I was simultaneously homeschooling my 3 kids and finishing this book. This book was due in April, and it was due in April, and somehow I got it done. I mean, I think I look back to that time and definitely remember crying in the shower here and there to reset. But I have used the tips, tricks, and strategies in this book ad nauseum over the course of this past year, because not only weathering the storms of the pandemic, getting COVID myself and my 3 kids, husband, and my mom recently, it's been some hard times, but the strategies in this book have gotten me through it. And I'm so excited to have it out in the world now to hopefully share some of that secret sauce with other people.
So these strategies in the book are not something new to you. This is something that you've used for a good portion of your life as well. So can you kind of tell us about how that came to be and how and when you decided, again, doing 18,000 other things that you do, that it was time to put this in writing. And thank God you did, to share it with the rest of us.
Yeah, sure. So I've been a magazine editor for 20 plus years. So I've had the luxury of it working at places like, Cosmopolitan and Self and Good Housekeeping and now Woman's Day. So I've written and researched tons and tons of articles, and my MO was always to help people live their best lives. And in the process, some of that wore off on me. I road tested a lot of the advice. I used myself as a guinea pig. I'm not inherently bubbly or happy or optimistic or joyful. I really had to train to live this way. And I say the same way I trained my biceps, I trained my brain. And so I have worked very hard to live this way and find the secret sauce. My nickname was Grumpy as a kid. I wore a necklace which was the Grumpy from the Seven Dwarfs. And when we wrote our school play in 5th grade, I wrote my character Neggy, which was the embodiment of negativity. So that's who I am. My negativity bias is strong. My primal urge is to see the glass as half empty. Now I just see it as refillable, but that took work and that took practice. And so, I had some rough teen years. I had an eating disorder. I was hospitalized. My best friend tragically died en route to the hospital with me. And, I talk about it so matter of factly now because writing this book was my therapy and I've worked through so much. But, some very tough teen years. I made an unauthorized TV movie about me. And then kind of, went through therapy, started to work through some of that. And it was really in my 20s when I was an editor at Cosmopolitan, I was assigned this story called The 7 Secrets of Happiness. And I absolutely rolled my eyes at my editor-in-chief. I'm like, who wants to read this crap? But in researching and writing that story, talking to positive psychologists, and sort of having a bit of an aha moment, not saying I transformed overnight, but I started to realize that, wow, happiness is a choice. And in order to be happy, you have to do happy. And there are action steps we can all take on a daily basis to move the happiness needle. And maybe it feels better to live that way. And then I went on to Self Magazine, where I was working on the Self Challenge. And I helped hundreds of thousands of people reach their diet and their fitness goals and helped keep them motivated. And again, I was learning all these tips and tricks and strategies and helping people put them into practice and seeing what really stuck, seeing what really worked, and seeing how good people felt when the tips and tricks did kind of spark and take hold and recharge them. And, then I got hit with another whammy. My dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and was gone in 5 months. And I had 3 kids at the time. I was working at Good Housekeeping magazine. And I really just sort of had this moment of, I don't want to get out from under the covers, but I need to. And I started something called Operation Good Grief, which was really just a daily practice of finding something that didn't suck. And it really meant something that didn't suck because those were some dark days. And I actively searched out and looked for one good thing every day. And sometimes it's a pink sweater. And sometimes it's, a cute note from my kid or, a smile from a stranger. But I would document those things on social media with the hashtag Operation Good Grief. And I kind of created this community of people who cheered me on, who had been through hard things too, and sort of served as these grief mentors that, we can get through these hard things. It's possible. And then I sort of just committed to myself that I knew that I wanted my legacy to be one of positive energy. The gift of losing someone to terminal cancer is that you get to sit with them. You get to ask tough questions and have hard conversations. And I had the opportunity to talk to my dad and say, how do you want to be remembered? And then really just realized, wait, I get this chance now. Why do I feel like I'm getting misty and I don't know why? But I'm like, I have this chance now. I'm not going to wait till I have terminal cancer to understand what my legacy is. And it was very clearly one of positive energy. And I truly felt the biggest way to have that impact and the biggest way to bottle my secret sauce and the lessons I had learned was in book form. And so then I was determined to put pen to paper and get this out.
So that was sort of
I love all you ladies, so I get a little choked up when I see your faces.
Oh my God. Kathleen, can I ask one quick question?
Of course.
Is there something that you can share with us that we can post on our social media about your book and you and that? Because the energy, like just the whole energy you have and that happiness, and not knowing somebody well and seeing them always happy. We all went through COVID. It's so depressing in a sense. It's such a mental health challenge. And the fact that you make an active effort every day to find that happiness and that works, that's amazing. That's like a little miracle. And I'd love to share that with my network.
Well, and the neat part is it's science, right? It's that I've reprogrammed my brain. I have absolutely trained to live this way so that I can automatically think the good thought. And the coolest part is it rubs off on other people. I tell this story of we just went through COVID, and there was a night where my one son was projectile vomiting all over the bathroom. I literally had vomit in the pocket of my pajamas. I'm picking it out of the floor, to the point where at one point I got naked because I was so covered in vomit. I'm like, this is a wash. I'm throwing my pajamas out. And my husband's there with me and we're scrubbing. And he turns to me and he goes, we really did need to do a deep clean anyway, didn't we? And I was like, oh my God, you're drinking my Kool-Aid. You just found the bright side in a really crap situation. And that's the beauty of this, right? The fully charged life, your fully charged life is not a life overhaul. It's just a way of doing, and it can wear off on other people, and it can have this cumulative effect. I mean, I don't work that hard at looking at the bright side anymore. I just sort of have prioritized positivity to the point where it's automatic.
And on the days, like you just said, and we've all gone through terrible days, and on those really, really tough days, when you really have to sort of dig in and do it, do you forgive yourself a little bit and say, okay, today might be a harder day to do it. Tomorrow I can do it. Like, can you be forgiving of yourself on those days where it's just really, really hard?
Well, I don't think about tomorrow because that's too big picture, and then that everything's a wash, right? I absolutely always give myself a moment of grace to acknowledge whatever sucks. That's super, super important. Otherwise, you're in toxic positivity territory. I absolutely always pause and let myself rage. Whoa, how the F did we get COVID? This stinks. Am I going to wind up in the hospital? I have every bad thought. I have every scary thought. I go there. I absolutely go there, but I don't get stuck there. And that's the difference. Then I change my why me to a why not me. Okay. And I give that, making that tweak allows me to assign purpose to my struggle. And when you're able to assign purpose to whatever it is you're going through, it makes it easier to get unstuck.
I love the way you describe giving purpose to the mission, because it reset, and I have to now assertively do something. It gives me now something I have to do, as opposed to sitting back and letting it sink in. It's going to make me get up and assertively try and do something positive.
Exactly. I say this time and time again. You can't be happy unless you do happy. Mm-hmm. Happy is always an action step. And there's small action steps. I mean, listen, I still am not feeling 100%. I'm recovering from COVID. Okay, so I'm dopamine dressing. I put on this pink lightning bolt sweatshirt because you know what? I need a shot of happy. I'm doing happy. I've actively put on these earrings and these pink glasses because you know what? I need that shot of happy right now. And there's all of these little tips and tricks and strategies in the book. And when you have this toolkit, you can pick and choose what you need in each moment. And sometimes that's really different, and it's different for all people. There's no formula for happiness. There's a toolkit for happiness. And really what your fully charged life does is outline some of those tools so that you can reach in and dig in there when you need it.
Do you see generationally how it affects, like from your kids to your mom to, do you see an effect with them, and do you see how they sort of approach this as well, and are they able to understand that as well?
Well, the coolest part is that positive energy is universal. It doesn't know age, it doesn't know color, it doesn't know sexual orientation. Positive energy is positive energy, and it affects all people in the same way. Mm-hmm. So I think my kids see how I live and they mirror that behavior and they internalize that behavior. They're not going to call it cognitive reappraisal, but they understand how to make those mind changes because they see it in action.
Now, you've been through a lot in your life, and and I think it's so refreshing for people out there to hear that, maybe you were grumpy when you were younger, and this was something you had to learn, and we can do this. So you may have not viewed yourself as that before, but it is a change we can make, and we can do happy, and we can make this change. Is there something, maybe a little story you can share how this has helped even recently? And I know you mentioned COVID too, but something specific for someone out there who's really struggling right now and who's hearing this and is really wants to do it, but maybe you could give us even another example of how you did it.
Well, and I think the one other thing I want to point out too is I think that people are getting caught up in these hardship Olympics right now. And I have it this bad, and you have it this bad, and I have it the worst. And if I have it bad and you have it worse, I don't deserve happiness. And I think we sort of have to put that to bed. And whatever it is you're going through is hard and it stinks. And whatever it is any of us are going through is hard and it stinks. Okay, but you have a choice today. And maybe that choice just starts with making your bed. Maybe that choice starts with buying yourself fresh flowers. Maybe that choice starts with wearing pants that button and brushing your hair. Because these small little behavioral changes can propel you forward. That's the cool thing about it. Positive action steps and positivity can soften the edges on the negative. And once you put that positivity in practice and in motion, it spirals into goodness. That's the key. Like, if you're going through a hard time right now, it's not like you need a life overhaul. It can absolutely be one tiny little tweak you make. And I swear it could be as simple as making your bed. There's so much good research that says when you start your day with this sense of accomplishment, it propels you to accomplish more and more and more, right? And we also feel better when our house is tidy. Tidy home, tidy mind, right? Control the clutter, control the chaos up here. It's so simple. You don't have to make sweeping changes to feel better right now. And you deserve to feel better right now. We all deserve to feel better right now.
We frequently talk about things we need to do, and we ask Elizabeth, our resident expert of everything we need to do, to tell us what to do. And obviously one of them is to immediately go out and buy your fully charged life. But I'm going to leave it now to Elizabeth to tell us what else we need to do this week.
This is a very interesting list this week because this film came out on Friday, and it's #1 on Netflix, and it's Rosamund Pike, and it's called I Care a Lot. And if you have to watch it, it's so good. If anything, just for her hair, because it's like the perfect bob. I mean, I'm like obsessed. Anyway, you might know her from Gone Girl and Pride and Prejudice, and she plays a court-appointed guardian for dozens of elderly people, and one of them happens to be Diane Wiest, who we love, who, unbeknownst to many, has like a little bit of a turn. And you always remember Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, who is in this. Anyway, it's fabulous. Please watch it. It's kind of dark, but good. It's got a twist. It will get you. So it's like I'll Care a Lot, and it's on Netflix. Okay, now because I'm with Jersey girls, I had to bring this up. The Bruce Springsteen, President Obama podcast, which launched just the other day. It's called Renegades Born in the USA. And basically they kind of started talking, and they had all these things going on last year. And they just said, you know what, let's put up a mic. We'll talk together because, it's Obama and Bruce Springsteen. So they released 2 episodes. It's very fascinating. And even little old Asheville girl here, I'm not as big of a Springsteen fan, but I have to say I was really excited. It's on Spotify, so definitely get that. And finally, you may have heard of Van Gogh, the immersive experience. So this has been traveling around the world, and basically you get to be in the paintings. It's a digital exhibition, so you can kind of walk into the sunflowers and the starry night, and it's 20,000 square feet and 360-degree view, and it's touring across the country. And I'm very excited to say it's coming to Atlanta next in May. I've already got our tickets, and then it's coming to New York. So that is going to be very exciting, and something. It's a very safe. You can take your family. Very cool. Get tickets already. They just announced in New York. So that's Van Gogh, the immersive experience. And those are my tips for this week.
So now we all have a busy week between audiobook and Book of Meaghan's and all the other things we have to do. So get started when we're done. Now, in order to do so, we always ask our financial expert, Kathy, how we can go about doing all this successfully and still doing everything else we need to do.
Excellent. Thank you, Kathleen. In honor of Meaghan, our guest, and her amazing book that I'm also excited to read or listen to on the podcast, The Fully Charged Life. When it comes to your financial picture, this is the question I want you to ask yourself when you're thinking about spending money and trying to figure out if it makes sense for you or not. Does it bring you your yay or not? If it brings you your yay, then it's a good way to spend money. It's fulfilling your purpose or your passion or what's important to you or what your goals are. If it's not giving you yay, don't spend it. That's my tip.
And now is the point of our show where Dina always brings a yay to every week because Dina celebrates someone around the country, a business around the country, a book around the country, something that we must notice, we must relish, we must acknowledge. So, Dina, what is our yay this week?
Well, the biggest yay is obviously Meaghan's book. And I was very lucky, which brings me to what I'm going to talk about today. I was very lucky to get to read this book early because we were very excited to have Meaghan on our very first cover of the year with a very appropriate headline, The Power of Positivity, because what better message on the cover of New Jersey Family Magazine to start this new year after pandemic life than to have the most optimistic, joyful, yay cheerleader in New Jersey. So
It's my first cover. I've been in magazines for 20 plus years. It is my first cover. Yay!
and we're so honored. And so anyway, I was so thrilled to read the book a couple months ago and was able to get so much out of it. And one of the businesses, what you should know about Meaghan, she is a huge cheerleader for local and for everyone. She's the busiest person I know, yet she will drop everything to help someone at a moment's notice. And I've seen it firsthand. And so she highlights a lot of these local businesses in her book. And one of them that she shared is a journal. And I'm a big believer in journaling with my kids. I had never heard of this before. It's called Big Life Journal, and it is the world's first growth mindset journal. And we know if you have kids how important it is, growth mindset. So this journal was started by a husband and wife team who saw firsthand how that is life-changing and looked when they had a son for tools to help their son channel this growth mindset. And of course, as most entrepreneurial stories go, they didn't find it, so they created it. They started a Kickstarter, they raised some money for the first printing, and now they have this huge community of 500,000 parents and educators who are using these books. I know Meaghan shared it and uses it with her children. She featured it also on the Today Show with Hodo and Jenna recently when she was talking about her book. And they're amazing books. They're really training your kids to go from I can't to I can keep trying and I can keep learning until I can, right? And so the pages could be, I'm grateful because I am, I can, I have. And in doing this growth mindset, not only does it teach your kids positivity, but it also teaches them to be grateful. And gratitude is another big theme in the book. So the website is biglifejournal.com. They're $20. They start at a young age and go all the way up to teens and tweens. And the other thing I just wanted to quickly say is if you're going to get the book, please call your local bookstore. That's another big thing. Call your local bookstore, find out if they have it, and support local. And then you get the positive charge from the book and you also support local.
Now, I mentioned about who you are. So we know all that you've done for everyone and all that you do, but we're going to find out a little bit behind the scenes of Meaghan right now.
Okay.
So you are now subject
Should I
to
be nervous?
No,
Oh,
never.
Be nervous.
Never.
Meaghan, it's nice to see
I'm
you.
Cosmo, so I have no secrets.
It's so nice to see you again. And I am so excited to finish this book. So excited. Getting on a plane tomorrow. It's going to be done in 2 hours. All right, really quick, fast questions, fun questions, and you don't have to answer them. We'll just move on. Do you like to sing in the shower?
I don't really like to sing. I had a traumatic singing experience in second grade. And now on my podcast, my co-hosts make me go, Karma call, to get over my fear of public singing. Because my teacher literally said, just move your mouth and stop making the words come out.
Your favorite form of exercise?
I love the community at Home Power Yoga in Cranford. I love the results from SLT and Short Hills. I like to run again. So maybe those three things.
Awesome. Socks or no socks in bed?
No socks. I also weirdly have COVID toes right now, and my toes have just been cold and weird for weeks. So that sounds doubly gross.
Favorite meal to cook for your family?
I don't cook. My
Ex-
favorite meal for my husband to cook would be Taco Tuesday.
If
There's a
you
section in my book, and it's like, be awful. Well, I'm awful at cooking, and I ask for help.
here, same here. Favorite family vacation?
Oh my gosh, we love Fort Lauderdale, and we're actually going in 2 weeks again to celebrate. They have the best sea glass at this one beach in Fort Lauderdale, and we're going back to sea glass hunt.
It's great. If you could have dinner with one historical figure, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, I'm learning about so many cool people doing second grade homework. What did we read about today? We read about Simone Biles, and I feel like she would be kind of interesting to chit chat with, and maybe she could teach me how to do a backflip.
There you go. That's good. What is something you dislike that everyone else loves?
I don't dislike many things.
I was afraid to ask you that question, so we're going to move on.
I can find good in anything.
Exactly.
So weird.
Your go-to breakfast.
Oh wait, I know what I don't like. I don't like salmon. I don't like salmon
That everyone else loves. I can see that.
because it's like trying to be orange and it's not. It's like pinky orange. It's salmon. It's the worst shade of
Fantastic.
orange, and I don't like salmon.
Your go-to breakfast.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've had cannoli cake, gluten-free cannoli cake from gloriously gluten-free the past 2 mornings in a row, and it's the best thing I've ever had, and it might become a new habit.
All right. If you could go back in a time machine and meet yourself, what would you say to her?
Cool glasses.
Love that. And what inspires you?
Other people,
Nice.
the energy of other people, the energy of strangers,
Love that.
the energy of a smile.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs! I hate cats. I got a cat once and I named him Xerox just because I wanted to name him Xerox the copycat, but we were not friends.
Aisle or window on a plane?
Oh my God, I just want to be on a plane. I'd sit middle just to be on a plane right now, right?
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
And beer, wine, or cocktails?
No beer because I'm celiac, gluten-free. I feel like cocktails are too much work, although this rose water tequila situation, I just want to sniff it and maybe sip it, but I am a wine girl.
Well, thank you.
I love a good Q&A. That was fun.
Your answers were great.
I want to step in, Meaghan, where you said what makes you happy is being inspired by others and other people. Well, once again, as I mentioned, clearly you make us all happy by doing that every single day. So once again, tell us how we can be inspired and where we're getting that book.
So your Fully Charged Life is available wherever books are sold. So your Amazons and your Barnes and Noble. And if you choose to buy it there, please give it 5 stars and write a review. That's super, super important to authors. And when you take the time to do that, an author does a happy dance. And of course, I'm the biggest proponent of shopping local and loving local. There's a big piece of the book is about community and the importance of community and loving where you live and supporting other people. And when you shop local, a real person does a happy dance. So, and the author, it's double whammy of goodness. So that's super important. But I mean, it's available wherever books are sold. And I'm super proud of the audiobook because I almost didn't get to record it because of COVID. And to be able to have that opportunity was pretty magical for me. And I'm pretty busy on Instagram at Meaghan B. Murphy with all the letters because I'm extra, like the extra charge. So that's another good place to find me.
Well, we can't thank you enough. And if you're not an example to all of us, you epitomize what more fun is. You epitomize helping others. You epitomize being able to pivot and change and do it all and gracefully and kindly and always doing the happy to make everyone else happy. So if nothing, everybody out there, remember, if Meaghan has taught us nothing else tonight, keep morphing.